Hi, it's Angie. I'm not here today to sugarcoat anything. If you earn your living by working, whether it's behind a checkout, driving a van, caring for people, teaching kids, running your own small business, or even sitting in an office, the government is about to reach into your pocket again. And just like the last time, the people right at the top, the ones who own the big assets, the property portfolios, the investments, they will walk away untouched. This is not a guess. This is not a conspiracy. This is the same pattern we've seen again and again for decades. And one man has been warning us about it louder and clearer than anyone. It's Gary Stevenson. Gary wasn't born into privilege. He grew up in a working class home in East London. Good at maths, worked hard, got into the London School of Economics, later Oxford University, and ended up on Citibank's trading floor. And that's where he saw it all. That the rich don't get richer because they put in more hours or work harder than the rest of us. They get richer because they own things that grow in value year after year. Houses, stocks, businesses, land. And they get the rules written in their favour. Even during a crisis, especially during a crisis, the system finds a way to protect them. Gary became one of the bank's most successful traders, made his millions and could have disappeared into a mansion somewhere sunny. But he didn't. He walked away, and now he runs Gary's Economics on YouTube, speaking directly to ordinary people like you and me, the poor, the middle class, about the reality of wealth, power, and the economy. Now, Gary's latest warning came on the 3rd of August 25, not long ago, in a video called Why Your Government is About to Raise Your Taxes. And when he says your taxes, he means yours, mine, not those of the billionaire hedge fund manager, not the offshore property mogul, not the political donor with 10 homes. Gary explains that under the rules the UK government chooses to follow, it can't just print money without limit. To spend more, it either borrows from the markets or raises taxes. If lenders lose confidence, they demand higher interest rates. And when that happens, we, the public, pay the price. We saw this in September 2022 when Liz Truss and Kwasi Kwarteng unveiled their mini-budget. Unfunded tax cuts for the rich. The markets panicked, the pound crashed. The Bank of England had to step in to stop pension funds collapsing. The result? Higher borrowing costs for the government, higher mortgage rates for families, higher rents, higher bills that affect us. And when the dust settled, did they send the bill to the rich? No, they sent it to us through frozen tax thresholds, stealth tax rises, and cuts to public services. Now, Gary's point is simple. The squeeze isn't coming. It is already here. We have wages versus prices. Since 2008, wages have barely grown after inflation. Real pay today is still lower than before the 2008 crash. That's 17 years of stagnation. We see it with our public services. The NHS waiting lists, over 7.6 million. Councils going bankrupt. Social care in crisis. We see it in the wealth inequality. That richest 1% now own even more wealth than the bottom 70% of the UK combined. And we see it with tax bias. Capital gains are taxed at far lower rates than income from actual work. And finally, we see it with our housing. Ultra-low interest rates inflated property prices to insane levels. It enriched landlords and investors, yes, but it locked young people out of home ownership. Now, Gary's genius is connecting the dots. Look around. Your pay packet buys less. Your bills are going up. Your services are cut. This isn't bad luck. This is the system working exactly as designed. Let's look at what I think we'll all see is the wrong fight at the wrong time. Because after Gary's video, economist Richard Murphy responded on the 8th of August with why the UK can't go broke and why Gary Stevenson shouldn't imply it. Well, Murphy's argument is rooted in modern monetary theory, MMT, which says that because the UK issues its own currency, it can never truly run out of money. In theory, the only limit is inflation, not borrowing or taxes. Now, in a lecture hall, and what I'm saying is in theory, that's true. But here's the problem. Our government doesn't behave as if MMT is its playbook. They act as if debt and deficits are strict limits. And they use those limits as a political weapon to protect the rich and punish everyone else. If you tell the public the government can't go broke without explaining the politics, don't you risk making people think this is just a misunderstanding, when in fact it's deliberate policy? Murphy's response might score points in an academic debate, but it risks undermining the urgent, real warning Gary is trying to get across to the very people who most need to hear it, and that's us. And why does this all matter now? Because we are in the middle of a class war, and the rich are winning. Over the past 15 years, council tax bans frozen since 1991. Some millionaires in huge mansions pay proportionately less than families do in modest homes. Did you know that? Corporation tax cut again and again, sold as a way to boost growth. But investment stayed low, while shareholders' payouts to the mighty wealthy soared. The personal allowance was frozen, dragging millions into higher tax bands through that terrible fiscal drag. Now, Gary warns, the next budget will squeeze ordinary incomes even more, while leaving wealth untouched. And they will get away with it, unless we stop them. We can stop this, but only if we act together. And we can do it in a number of ways. Number 1, get informed. Follow independent voices like Gary. He could be at home in his mansion if he chose, but he's a good man at heart, and he's out there campaigning for all of us. Let's join him. So follow those independent voices as I say, like Gary, share their work, break the billionaire media monopoly. Number 2, challenge the lie. When you hear we can't afford it, ask, who's we? And why are the richest untouched? Number 3, demand wealth taxes. Because fair taxation on capital gains, property and extreme wealth is the right thing to do, not placed just on wages and on our pensions, which is soon to come if they leave fiscal drag in place. Number 4, join forces. Support unions, campaigns and community groups. One person can be ignored, thousands cannot. 5, vote with your eyes wide open. Look at politicians' records, not just their promises, their lies. They tell us the economy is too complex for ordinary people to understand. Yes, they do. Now that's a lie. Gary proves that when you strip away the jargon, it's simple. This is a system designed to protect the rich, which means it can be redesigned to protect us, the poor and the middle classes. I'm not talking about just the poorer middle classes. There are quite wealthy middle classes who work darn hard and they deserve every penny they get. And I don't mean that they should be taxed. No, I'll repeat again, I'm talking about those asset-laden rich who inherit their wealth, that 1% wealthiest at the top of the tree. It's those that get away untouched and they don't pay hardly any tax at all. It's they that should be taxed. We have a choice. We could sit back, be divided, and let them take from us again. Or we can stand together, poor and middle class, side by side, and fight for a fair system that works for everyone, not just the asset-owning elite. Gary's warning is not just a prediction, because the fire is already burning and the bucket is right there. The question is, though, will we use it? Bye for now. I will be back with another video, keeping you informed every step of the way. Goodbye.